Great Depression. Now, this is a psychology class, but that's not the depression we're going to be talking about. The Great Depression was a series of unfortunate economic events, the first being World War I. This was more like a little shove off the edge that nobody expected. It started in the United States with the stock market crash. The GDP, or gross domestic product, plummeted by 15%. To put that in perspective, in 2009, the market crashed by 1%. The USA is still recovering from that to this day. We have to ask ourselves what would happen if this happened in today's time. Imagine both of your parents losing their government jobs because they're not getting paid anymore. How would you get food, heating, clothing, and other normal necessities? Out of the countries hit the hardest, Germany was one of the most affected. After losing the war, the German people seeked a leader that would bring them out of this depression. Hitler plus other world leaders seek to use this decrease in GDP as fire for their political platforms. But I'm getting off topic. These stats represent the decline and increase in GDP. We should always keep in mind that the Depression affected everyone. Rich, the poor, someone in Vietnam, or someone in a palace in France. So you're telling me this wasn't a specialized plan to target poor people? Not this time. If you want to blame someone, blame the poor banking systems at the time. Back into the fray. It gets worse, let me tell you. So bad, in fact, that 15 million Americans in particular lost their jobs. Farmers couldn't afford to grow food because the price of seed was so high. They had no money because they had just spent all their money on new farming equipment from World War I, so all of them were in debt. Thousands lined the streets and bread lines. But things get better. By some accounts, 1933 was one of the best years in history. The GDP was on the rise, and things started to look pretty good for everyone. And the change didn't happen overnight. It was slow, and countries needed to climb back up to where they were before the drop. And that's harder than it sounds. Economists still believe that we are coming out of the Great Depression. Some countries never fully healed. A pretty scary thought to think our lives rely on money so much. Now, what have we learned about economics? Well, not a lot, but we have learned that the Great Depression was a horrible and tragic event for the entire world. I'm Liam Robertson, thank you for watching.